the shotgun start in golf is full of mathematics. There's a lot of setup work that we have to do in order to make a tournament work. So I'm going to demonstrate to you just exactly how we do a shotgun start here.
And here we go.
Hey. All right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Greetings and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is August 27th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing awesome. How could I not be doing awesome after the amusements of an hour-long press conference about Ryder Cup picks where seemingly everybody who wanted to ask a question got to ask the same question.
And twice over. I mean, I'm all for media access. Please, these guys have become sort of tyrants with limiting their time and taking two bullshit questions. But what? What is going on? It was great. I mean, that was amusing. It just, I couldn't imagine we would go for over an hour and Don Rea would not be involved in the proceedings. But we managed to do it. But it was great. It was a fabulous 1 hour full of amusements that probably ends up in a best case scenario for the American side in terms of competitiveness or preparation. I don't know about entertainment and content and takes, but the picks are in. It took an hour to get through it. They did at least go to it semi quickly. We had the good fortune of Cameron Young spoiling the upcoming Sam Burns pick, so they got to it even quicker than they planned. So I enjoyed that. We have our 6 picks. Go ahead.
It's unfortunate that Burns was, the last pick as they planned it out. He was the last pick, and that was supposed to be a real moment of drama. But, the thing about doing things live is sometimes things go wrong. And Cam Young, I would say, during the TGL season, Cam Young was the dial tone. Mr. Never said anything. Couldn't get anything out of him.
Entertainment product, yes, and he was just the dial tone, yes.
And I would say one of the surprises of today was Cam Young was far from the least interesting person that was brought in to talk.
I mean, fairness, Patrick Cantlay did not get asked a single question, I believe. You can audit me on that, PJ, if I'm wrong, but he was there for over an hour and sat there with his black woodwork shutters behind him, just staring deadpan into the camera. And I think I made the joke on Twitter, they're going to ask for another $500K from the PJ of America for having to sit through this Zoom. He didn't get asked a single question, so I don't think he's even in the running for being uninteresting or dial tone. You can't even, he's NA. But he's on the team. We have,
what does that say about somebody that nobody wants to ask him a question?
Those on the team, that's fair. That's fair. He'd rather talk
there's like 50
the Harvard
questions.
the Harvard Business Review is who he wants. He wants to go talk to some Goldman Sachs panel. On the team, Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, this in the order they were announced today. Ben Griffin, Cameron Young, Patrick Cantlay, and then Slam and Sam Burns are your 6 picks. Let's just get to the biggest story is Keegan Bradley is not on the team. I don't know if omissions are always the top story. Sometimes Buddy Ball is the top story. Maybe that'll be the story for Euro when they pick on Monday, Buddy Ball system. But I think the top story from this one and going into it is Keegan Bradley going to pick himself. He did not pick himself. And we'll talk about the guys who are on the team, but let's talk about the first one who's not. And that was the guy who seemingly talked for about an hour straight as no one else just sat on Zoom.
Yeah, and talked just simply about making phone calls, just without divulging details. The Matt McNeely is like the one detail we got,
Yeah.
I will say, in an earnest moment here, Keegan Bradley's probably the best person to make these phone calls because obviously he's been one that's been kind of left out, over his career. And I think we're at this point. He's not playing on the team. A couple of years ago, was he one of the 12 best Americans? Probably. When they didn't play at Rome, when Buddy Ball prevailed. This year, without a doubt, one of the 12 best Americans. I think, like, if you look at like the consistency that he's had, when you play these team competitions, what you're trying to do, I think in general, you want to have steady players. You want to have players that like you kind of know what you're getting from them when they tee it up week in, week out. And I think Keegan Bradley is one of the steadiest players that you have on the American team. I think Kyle Porter posted a thing about his strokes gained over the last 12 months, 6 months, 3 months. Like, he's been in the top 6 or 7 players on the American side in those categories over each of those periods of time. But the fact is, I think that there was just too much, the way, if you looked at this from a PR situation, there was one route where he's a hero for not picking himself. And it can't ever go wrong that he didn't pick himself. Like, nobody's going to be like, hey, you screwed up by not picking yourself.
Do you think that?
I think
like,
so.
If like Sam Burns or one of the picks, Ben Griffin, like are horrendous, there won't be any kind of blame.
I think because you could always say the captaining, I would have played worse. The captaining is so much work, right?
Totally fine. Yep. I think
this was like the clear winning PR strategy.
Yeah.
One question I have, like, because if you pick yourself and then you play like garbage, which is totally realm of possibility, everybody's like, well, it would have been nice to have a real player as a 12 spot, no matter like how unimportant it is. Like, like the last pick on the Ryder Cup team, how important is it? Could they play 2 sessions and be, but like I think my bigger question is, he's one of the 12 best players. Is him being the captain actually important? Was him not being the captain ever considered?
By his admission earlier this summer, I think after Travelers, he was like, no, that will not happen. I'm not going to relinquish the captaincy. It's an interesting hypothetical. So what? Just bump him to assistant playing captain or nothing, just player, and you guarantee him the head captain spot sometime down the line, or soft guarantee?
So this was, as I was kind of thinking out the scenarios, like the way you win out is like you win Travelers and you say, you know what? I'm not going to be the captain. I'm going to play.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, I don't think the Ryder Cup captain really matters.
Oh, okay. I'm going to get the Euros and their feelings about that one. I think it matters in a way that you can lose it. I think a bad captain can on the periphery lose it in that way.
It's too soon from Zach to make that statement.
And T-Dub, Tom Watson. I mean, times the second go round. But you might have lost it anyways. It's just more of there's extra flames coming out of the car crash or something because of the captain. It's hard to discern. I think they matter in a way. I would just, as we talk about Keegan, like, follow me on this story arc here. It's kind of heartbreaking. And he talked about the honor of being the captain. So the irony is he gets the captaincy because of the heartbreak of 2023 and that being very prominently displayed in the Netflix show. Like, I don't think I'm being, I'm over implying anything here or presumptuous that like a major part of why he got the captaincy was because of that snub and the storyline from it. So then he gets this captaincy and the reward or carrot for that snub now becomes the primary roadblock to get snubbed again. And not only does he get snubbed, listening to him talk today at length, it seems like they kind of like put the dessert on the table and then pulled it away from him because he said, this whole year has been strange. I never really considered playing until after the Travelers. And then that was really on the table for a while. So he gets this reward for getting jammed 2 years ago. That then becomes the roadblock. But wait, now he starts playing good enough, and it shows up. It's on the table. It's within reach. His hand is above water. He might grab onto the inner tube and pull himself up. And then this meme was good from Fried Egg of him calling himself with the Zatch backwards hat on from Netflix. And then whatever happens in July and August, wait, no, too many guys are start playing well, and I have to block myself. The arc is really, really incredible. And he's taking the right approach about it of, what an honor it is. Like, I just need to take, it is good that I'm involved in any way, even if it might be the reason why I'm not getting to play after waiting since 2014 to do it. He's saying the right thing. Like, there is a great honor and there is a portion of reward in that. But just the winding path feels really extra heartbreaking for Keegan.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been in situations in life where you're able to start, dreaming, thinking about something that you're excited about.
Yeah.
I guarantee, anybody that sits in this situation is I know, there's no way that Keegan Bradley's been effectively a top tier player for 20 years of his life, on the PGA Tour. That is incredibly, maybe not 20 yet, but 15 years of his life. And to be as relevant and as good as Keegan Bradley's been for this long, he is a crazy hyper competitive human being. That you can't stay up, and we see it with perfect case in point, DJ going to live. Once you lose your edge, you are gone in golf. So he is a hyper competitive human being. I can guarantee you he wanted to play. So the idea of after the Travelers, it was okay, he is on the team. He was at the time 7th or 8th in the world of golf. Right now he's 12th in the world in the OWGR.
That includes world, not just Americans. Europe,
half of the
Australia.
top 12 is effectively European. So he is one of the 7 or 8 top ranked players. And I think the thing that I hit on earlier about Keegan is he's been effectively around the same spot for 4 years now. 3 or 4 years where he's been in this range, because he was effectively in the same range when Zach Johnson picked, Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas over him last time. And I think it makes it extra. I guarantee he really did not want to not pick himself, but the situation kind of forced his hand with Sam Burns playing so well. Patrick Cantlay's career at the Ryder Cup made him kind of a lock where and Cam Young playing great golf.
Winning at Wyndham. Yeah.
And Ben Griffin having an awesome year. Albeit, I heard a lot of rumors. There were a lot of trying to poke holes in the Ben Griffin, unsubstantiated rumors is that, maybe Ben Griffin isn't a locker room favorite.
That's starting to float around. He was trying too hard and advocating I got to be on. And Keegan said, he talked to McNeely, the first time you make it, you almost have to do it on points. It's really hard. And we saw Cam Young was 9th last time around. Different kind of form and trends at the end. But he made it. That became sort of the trend in recent weeks, as Griffin might get blocked and unsubstantiated rumors. He was trying too hard. I'm just happy that Max Fly may now be in the question, in the composition for all John or
John Houston out there doing influencer content for Max Fly.
I love this. But just to put a bow on the Keegan story, it got to the point, John Houston
or John Huston.
Yeah, PJ never heard of him. It's there's a John Huston in this Wikipedia entry. Young PJ.
PJ, unaware of John Huston or Houston, depending on how you pronounce it.
I just to the point, he was so close. He said he spent Monday bummed out and moping around. And this is kind of I don't know if he won a major. I don't know if this is a crowning achievement. It's one of the biggest achievements and honors of his life. as being the captain, and he spent Monday having to like mope around. They put him in a shitty spot. I'm just gonna say it. They put him in an awful spot, but it's still an honor. It's still a great position, but it was a tough look. He's
You know
out.
what I'm sad about? What
What?
I'm moping around about is that PJ has not had a bad day on our live platform soundboard. I
You
couldn't
can't
use it
They
there.
they'd take the show down before we were done. They'd just pull us off the air. I'm not giving you the chance to let that happen.
Go
What
ahead.
would you outside of Keegan, is there like, I think it's very clear he's the biggest snub. If you were going to make a snub case, right?
Yes, it's him. It's absolutely him. And do you say if he is not the captain, he's on the team? Are you like people are throwing that out as like the hypothetical?
I think he's absolutely on
For
the
sure.
team if he's not captain.
Who's out if he's on? Maybe Griffin, maybe Burns. Is that right?
It's a great question.
Like, because if he's automatically on, if he's not the captain, who is not? It's a tough omission. Either way, it's probably Griffin.
I think it's probably Ben Griffin, and it's the ceremonial Cam Young snub from last year or
Right.
last time around, where you're 9th on points, but you didn't qualify. It's what he said to Maverick, is
Yeah,
like, and you have this, I think like Cam Young for a golf course fit is just like you couldn't pass him up for Bethpage with the home, like kind of combination of form, home crowd, and how he plays on big ballparks, right? That was just, you couldn't pass that up.
Yep.
And then you got Slam and Sammy as the buddy ball pick.
He's played well.
He's played well.
Good. He called him the best putter in the world.
I don't know about that.
Is that?
I think this is where golf analytics just like sorely lets us down. The putting stats we should be looking at are like in contention. Like the best putter in the world should be deemed by like in contention Sunday, because how often do we see the great putters just go ice cold on Sundays when they're in the hunt? It's like, oh, this is the best putter in the world, and then it's like ice cold all Sunday when they have a chance to win. And I think like that's something that there should be more analytics on.
Yeah, I'll say
like there's just so few situational, like this is my whole thing with golf analytics right now, is like golf is such a situational game, and there are so few analytics that actually encompass the situation, in the sense of like, okay, this guy's out of the rough, but like, well, out of the rough is so dependent on length of rough, type of rough, like these are, and it's just this like kind of basket of, we're just going to throw everything into one bucket, and that does not encompass at all the situation that we're talking about. And I think like with the best putter, I don't know, like I see Scottie Scheffler make a lot of putts when they matter. Like he seems to make a lot of 18-footers on Sundays that like are momentous putts. Like I've always thought Bryson was a example of a guy that putts really well. Like he makes like a lot of important putts. And I think that the stats, I think a lot of the best putters kind of melt on Sundays, because when you just have to rely on your putter, it becomes extraordinarily hard. Like being the best putter means that you're probably pretty deficient tee to green. And Sam Burns, like he's kind of like dominates on driver wedge courses. Obviously he played great at Oakmont. I don't want to take that away, but he has had like a type of golf course. He's a great wedge and putter. And I think in this format, there are opportunities for him to thrive because of, great wedge play and putting.
Yeah, one opportunity for you to thrive is to go to Viori.com. All of you can choose to thrive by going to Viori.com. They gave me a pronunciation guide.
They did?
V or E, pronunciation of Viori equals V or E, Viori or Viori. It's incredibly versatile and comfortable, perfect for whatever your day brings. It looks great beyond the gym. I've been wearing the Core short. That's with a K, K-O-R-E. That's sort of their bread and butter, the original. It's got the liner in it. PJ's figuring out how to still use that. But
I feel like I remember a few years ago when I got my first liner shorts, I was like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I don't buy any short without the liner.
brand new world.
For workout shorts.
Brand new world. You can go to Viori.com. That's VUORIE.com/SGS. So get that /SGS. When you go to that URL, you automatically get 20% off your first purchase. There's no code. You have to hit the URL of Viori.com/SGS. You get 20% off. Also, order $75 and over, get free shipping, and you have free returns. They have the core short, draws on the inspiration from coastal California lifestyle. They've got the Dream Knit jogger, softest joggers on the planet. Lightweight, relaxed fit, moisture wicking with 4-way performance stretch. They've got the Sunday performance jogger. It's about jogger season here. We hit the mid 50s at night, which is just glorious. The best time of the year approaches. So stock up on joggers. The core short for the day as it stays warm. You go to Viori.com/SGS. You get 20% off in the cart automatically.
Can I make a recommendation,
Please?
Here,
Please.
For the listeners, if you're gonna go make a purchase, maybe snag your partner one, partner something. This is
Winner.
This is you can win on the home front. It's getting to that time of year. Get a nice soft sweatshirt. I guarantee it's going to be an auto on regularly. So that would be my recommendation. Grab yourself something, but think about your other half.
Good call. All right. So biggest snub we have
You could
is
even get something that matches, if you wanted to be real.
biggest snub we have is I don't recommend that. I hope that's facetious.
I
mean,
just
I
said
guess
that
you
because
can.
I just saw a
don't
picture
know.
on their website of a couple matching.
I mean, come on. We don't need to bring Ryder Cup style matching gear to your couples, walk around the block.
Speaking of gear,
yeah.
what do you think of everybody's fits? I think it's funny that Keegan, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but Keegan has to go up there in full uniform.
Yeah. Like a baseball
Wednesday
manager.
morning, and you got to dress back out in full uniform. I feel like he could have been wearing just but he's wearing the vest, the hat. It's like
baseball manager having to wear pants and cleats. He's not playing. The whole dog and pony show, having it at Frisco with the steps being populated with, I assume, staffers and then media down below. And why are we doing this on a Wednesday at 11 a.m.? I don't
because people are in the office.
But people are so we're trying to fulfill those 50 people as opposed to what could be the biggest television audience or the biggest audience. We're doing it on a Wednesday at 11 a.m. The theatrics of that I never understood, and then having to wait 2 days. Why didn't we do this Monday afternoon, Monday night picks? I don't know. Maybe they were scared of going up against our Cypress Point video on Monday. It just seems weird that they didn't do it in a more, consumable way. I get what they're just reading off names, but if you want to elongate the news cycle of the Ryder Cup, picking a Wednesday at 11 a.m. from Frisco, Texas, I did enjoy the local media guy asking about the facilities. You got this national. What do you think of the conference room upstairs? The facilities in Frisco. That was pretty good. It was.
I enjoyed Golf Talk America getting a chance to pepper the questions. Everybody got it. It was an equal opportunity press conference.
The Vermont newspaper. I get there's a local angle there, but pretty good. It was just an odd execution. Now that we say this, if you're into entertainment, and apparently the PGA of America, unsubstantiated rumor, was driving the Keegan Pick Yourself bus. This is a competition. It's also a booming entertainment television product business exhibition. PJ's posting screenshots of Don Rea. Just absolutely. What's my
personal opinion on it? There is no personal opinion. I'm the president of the PGA of America.
When women complain about men stretching out on the subway and taking up 3 spots, what's that called again?
Man spreading.
Manspreading. Rhea just absolutely
Well, he's got a
outfitted all
stunt
over
on
the
those
first row.
J's, dude. Look at what the dentist brought. Look at the fire from the dentist
I
today.
can't think. What an absolute thirst bucket.
Can I follow up just a
looking
little bit?
move?
He's got to be so pumped about the Keegan partnership that he can just foster through the Jordans.
Man spreading all over the Frisco. The entertainment pick, the Ryder Cup is the biggest event in golf pick, is Keegan, right?
Yeah.
And I'll say, like, I don't know why they did in the similar lines. I don't know why they did this on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Along those lines, looking at this roster, we've kind of lost a lot of the characters of this Ryder Cup from like recent years. We have Bryson.
There's no Zach involvement, who is the starring character of Rome.
We have no. He was. My favorite part. This is the Zach Memorial Award. Was Keegan was asked about who called the "you're not on it" calls. He goes, it's horrible, it's awful. He said, I like the calls to be short, sweet, and to the point. The absolute anti-Zach. Zach should get on there and be like, blah, 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 bumbling around, like, hey, how you doing? What'd you have for lunch? I hate to do this. I love you, man, but you're not on the team. He was not short, sweet, and to the point, as we saw on Netflix. So that was the anti-Zach quote that I liked. But we've lost a lot of the. I don't want to say this isn't professional wrestling, but we've lost Brooks, we've lost Spieth. Whatever you say about his game, he's a top draw.
DJ.
Patrick Reed is cinema. Tiger and Phil, which they were going to age out at some point. DJ. I'm talking about this in a non-golf analytical way. The Ryder Cup is this adversarial show, and Ben Griffin might be a complete lunatic that just whips the fans up, and there's social media clips all over the place. But it is a mostly methodical deadpan group. Is that we've lost a lot of the characters? I would say. Max
Homa, fan favorite,
Sure.
right? Not on the team.
Sure.
I think that's like another one that you could throw in there.
Yep.
But I don't know. I think you still have you got Bryson.
JT and Bryson are the two guys. Absolutely.
You didn't have Bryson, and I think we're recency bias here. Do you remember how ridiculous Bryson was at Whistling Straits when he had like the sword and he drove the first green?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the moments I'll never forget was when he drove like 13, I think it was. I was just where I was sitting. All of a sudden, Steph Curry sits next to me inside the ropes, and Bryson hits the green and does some sword thing, and Steph Curry's standing up impersonating Bryson. Let's not forget we have Bryson back.
It's going to be amazing. Cinema.
I am fascinated about who they are going to put with Bryson, because I think Bryson's a big personality, and I think that there might not be people lining up to pair with Bryson.
Do you have any early guesses? We're going to do this for the next month, and we'll have it in more concrete.
I think there might be a man that was put on the team to be the Bryson specialist. I'm curious if this is going to play out, but I think Ben Griffin might be on the team.
Think of the content. Think of the TikToks that they're going to
Are
make.
they
the
just
team
shoveling creatine into each other's mouth on the first tee and like gobbling it up?
I think that I have a sneaking suspicion that, and we'll see when the pod, when we have 4 days or 4 days of pod content. These are the pods.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd be shocked if Bryson and Ben Griffin aren't kind of siloed off with each other, making their own thirsty boy content all week.
Yep. I love that.
My question is, do you think Bryson will be open to going with the Max Flies? He has a lot of equipment.
He's very particular about that stuff, more so than probably anyone on the team. They're all very particular.
he'd have to ask 40. That's why I think he might end up playing with Cam, because they're both playing the 40 ball.
Is Bryson doing that?
Bryson's playing the 40 ball.
Bryson and Cam just feels like too much of one thing, too much of the similar thing. No,
I'd
just
be
go
worried
pound
about-
it around and figure it out. Yeah.
My issue would be I'd be worried about Cam just getting grumpy about having to spend all day with Bryson walking around Bethpage, one of his favorite places. Like, you know.
Yeah, that would be tough. Griffin, that would be fascinating. God, because I don't know. We're gonna have a month to do this. Bryson doesn't feel like an all 5 sessions guy, right? He never really has been. He struggled. Griffin is probably not going to be that, if we're being honest. Maybe the game plan changes. We'll talk about this a lot in the last month. Cam Young, speaking of him, wouldn't say he gave the most, like, he's not the most full of zip in the quotes. He didn't give the most glowing review to Bethpage when they asked him about it. You know, he's excited to play at home because it's not funky. It's right there. Hit the fairway and play. Like, it's all right in front of you, essentially, which was fun.
That's Cam Young golf course right there.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, yeah, like the fact that he wasn't like, hey, you know, I won the state open here. I set the course record in doing so when I was, you know, X years old. But like, you know what? Cam Young is not an electric press conference guy.
Never.
You know, I think honestly, if we're gonna bring this back to the stage, one of my questions is this: if you take JT and Ben Griffin out, could you put 4 less interesting people up on the screen than Colin Morikawa, Cam Young, Patrick Cantlay, and Sam Burns? Is this just a dial tone potpourri?
Well, this is what I'm saying. With we've lost a little bit of the characters. I don't like. This was the right outcome. Totally right. Like, we're not trying to nitpick here, but it's up there. It's up there. I did like, at least Slam and Sammy Burns activated his background. Everybody else went just blank woodwork, shutters, cabinets, a desk, you know, hutch. And Slam and Sammy Burns, just this loud Callaway bag just rumbling into the frame. He got that going for him. Nobody else did any kind of sponsor activations. Morikawa,
trying to flex their wood shutters.
You call them a dial tone. Is he the guy that's most suspect? I think he was locked. I think, from what I understand, totally unsubstantiated. He was told Sunday of BMW. He and JT were told at BMW they were on. I'd heard Cantlay was sweating it out a little bit late. The narrative became Keegan versus Burns or Keegan versus Griffin for the last spot. But when Morikawa was never really in that conversation. But if we're looking at whatever data, take the best 12, whatever metric you want to use, is he the weakest link right now on August 27th?
I'm not gonna, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm gonna go a different direction here. Xander Schauffele is the weakest link.
Well, he was automatic.
He's automatic, but like, I don't understand. You know, like I think we should be talking more about like the reality is they're going to go with this Schauffele Cantlay pairing, right? That's been the tried and true thing.
So maybe not every session, but for
the Xander Cantlay pairing in the last couple editions of this competition has been 2 top 7 players in the world pairing together.
Yeah.
Xander Schauffele didn't make it to Eastland. Xander Schauffele has not been right all since the injury. He had a career year the year before, but he's been categorically like pretty mediocre. It's been the worst year, as he said himself, the worst year of his career. And Patrick Cantlay, as you just pointed out, for the first time in probably 5 or 6 team competitions, is sweating out whether he's going to get. He had to get a captain's pick, and these are, like, to me, the thing that I would be most worried about for if I'm an American, fan. What I'm most worried about is like our best 2 Ryder Cup players, over the last few Ryder Cups are playing pretty bad, are playing their worst golf they've played in the last 6, probably years.
Yeah.
7 years.
Yep. You spoke of Xander and weak spots. Let's play a fun game. How far down the points list? Got a call, didn't get a call. Let's have a little fun with that. Because do you think, let's dispense with the elephant in the room. Do you think Jordan Spieth got a call saying he wasn't on the team?
I think he had to have.
I think he did too. He is what he did. You talk about Xander not making Eastlake. Jordan Spieth didn't
32nd
make
on the points
32nd. I'm just going to venture.
I mean, the reality is he was only 32nd on the points list because he didn't have baseline points going into this year. So that's I want to just clarify that, in actuality, he probably was like 12th on the points list just because, in reality.
So I'm going to venture a guess, whatever between 10 where McNeely was and 32, not all those guys got calls. I think Spieth did get one at 32.
Do you think Ricky did at number 30?
Yes, I do actually. Played great of the last month and a half. And I think he probably got a courtesy call.
Do you think here's like kind of more into the range. Do you think Tom Hoagie got a call at 21?
No, I don't. I mean, we're not using our minutes at Frisco.
All right, so let's get it here. So Matt McNeely confirmed got a call at number 10.
Confirmed.
Keegan didn't have to get a call at 11.
Yep.
Although he might have called himself.
Just to
check the boxes of as the PGA probably runs a pretty tight workplace. He probably had to check through the boxes.
Yep.
Brian Harmon at 12.
Yes. 12th. You got to call.
Our favorite football podcaster in golf, Andrew Novak. Did he get a call?
I think so. I think he was in the discourse for much of the summer, even if he was, not in it here at the end. Yes.
Do you think he's relieved that this isn't going to disturb his podcasting capabilities? That's a big week. That's what, week 4 or 5?
Eagles Bills, I think. Is that right? Or no, Eagles Ravens, I think. Yeah, big week.
He can lock into the early game slate.
Yep.
Doesn't have to worry about missing any action or kind of trying to cram it in on Sunday night and then record Monday morning. It won't disrupt his football podcasting.
Right.
We gotta have him on. PJ, can you work on that? Can we get him on for a little football preview?
Maybe next week. Could we try it?
Yeah.
Before kickoff Thursday night.
I can work on that.
Okay.
I will say though, I have a feeling that he would have liked to make the Ryder Cup team if that opportunity presented itself. I'm quite sure he would have made it work.
Fair point.
I don't think Keegan did his homework. Wasn't watching Novak and Rory duke it out late. At irrelevance on Sunday at Oakmont.
That was a singles match down the stretch there. I mean, they just went back and forth, blow for blow.
Yeah, that was an injured. One of the things, like when we look at what could have been moment, Novak's been dealt with an injury.
That's fair. So is Spieth. Sometimes you just never know. You got to deal with the cards you're dealt. Do you think?
Hey, legit question for you.
Yeah.
Right now, who's a better golfer, Jordan Spieth or Andrew Novak?
Why are we talking about this? God. You're just trying to get off extra shots at Spieth.
You opened the door to this. You brought Spieth
better golfer right now. Andrew Novak didn't look very good. Maybe he was just done and ready for the year to be over. But I have no sample size to pick apart for Spieth, which I don't know is worse or better. But I'm going with Spieth. This is a better golfer right now. Do you think Wendy Clark got a call?
Novak's not getting called out by the Buells.
That's fair. Or maybe not called out. Overheard on the range. Wendy Clark, did he get a call at 17?
Absolutely.
Lucas Glover at 18.
I think you have to, because the power of Glover's radio show, and that Glover's on Shoepak's speed dial. So I think you got to call Glover for political reasons, right?
You end up on Grumpy Radio Hour if you don't. Yeah, they called them. Akshay at 19, got her up at 20. Did the two young bucks or one of the two? I think they probably did as a means of just getting them engaged in the process and maybe having a chance down the line.
I think it could be, again, like a lot of this is political, right?
Yeah.
I think they might have gotten a call in the sense of they don't want it to feel like they weren't. I mean, but like, what did Akshay do this year that merited?
Made it to Atlanta.
Call.
I don't know. He made it to Atlanta recently.
Barely.
Which could be put him. He knew he wasn't going to make it, I guess.
Feels like Goddard probably got a call.
Yeah, probably got a call. I think I'm going to stop there. You hit Hoagie, Berger, McCarthy.
You don't think the bridge man at 27 got a call?
Now, Sam
Chris
Stevens, Michael Kim, Chris Kirk, Kitayama. No, I'm stopping there. JT Poston. We're done.
You know what? What should have happened? I'm just going to lay out what should have happened. Keegan wins the Travelers. And he should have immediately relinquished his captaincy to a man that has a lot of time on his hands right now. That would have been on this team had it not been for an injury.
Tight. Who?
Billy Horschel.
Oh, Billy boy. Yeah.
That, you want to talk about content? That would have been the ultimate way this works out.
That would have been incredible. Billy, you were born to captain. You were born like they're kind of they approximate each other, right? In terms of like energy and style. I don't know. That's a good hypothetical. Do you think Tiger got involved at all? They're talking about injured guys on the sideline. I mean, the irony of all this and the Keegan discourse was like, this has been hailed as the biggest Ryder Cup ever. No disrespect to like Hazeltine was awesome. Disrespect to Whistling Straits. I didn't think that was awesome. Quite honestly, as a fan, I thought that was tough, saying nothing on the golf course. But, since Medina, I would say this was hailed. This was going to be the biggest Ryder Cup ever. It's going to be Long Island, probably going to be Phil's captaincy. Everything goes to hell, and we're stuck with this 38-year-old or whatever he is, Keegan, maybe playing captain, just sort of winding path. And it's probably everything they could have never envisioned. They've been planning for this Bethpage one for 10 years. Tiger was also then supposed to jump in, but he's, I'm too busy with the, whatever it is, the policy board and stuff. And he backs out or he never engages. You think he was involved at all? He's not an assistant captain. You think he got involved with the process here at the end as sort of an ombudsman or authority?
It seems like right now, like Tiger enjoys just kind of sticking his nose into things and throwing his weight around just in general. Just, he's on that competition, that new roll-up committee,
future competition,
whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
He's on the policy board. He's, he can't be he's just it forever in perpetuity. I would argue, I think Tiger being engaged in the game is good. Yeah. But I think I would also argue that like the greatest player ever, when you're talking, this is a little divergence, but when you're talking about the roll-up board that's like looking at changing maybe some of the tradition, the game, like drastically changing the product, the Tiger Woods might not be the best person to be on there for changing a product that he is like got like an incredible legacy. Like there's an inherent, conflict of interest maybe with like, okay,
yeah,
I have this like there's all these records. Do I want it to, but there could also be, do I want that to be changed and have the game altered that would like kind of like, they could be all these new records based off of the new tour versus, there could also be good things like him standing up for cuts,
Yeah. Yeah.
So because Xander's still on his made cut streak,
I can't believe some
what's
of that.
amazing is Xander's made cut streak
continues, even though
even though he's had the worst year of his career.
It's interesting. I don't know if Tiger's the right guy to be focused on product, but if you're focused on product, you go to redrooster.com.
Right.
You go redroostergolf.com. I don't know what's going on at Red Rooster. I don't know. Don't get anything.
I don't think
there.
you want to. That
go
could
to
be
Red Rooster Golf. Yes, go to redroostergolf.com. Oh, and now we have win a trip. You could win where are they going? Win a trip. Giveaway of a lifetime to world-renowned Stream Sawn Golf Resort in Florida, August 13th, which is now, to October 31st, 2025. You go to redroostergolf.com/win a trip, click refer a friend, share your unique link, and you could win a trip to Streamson.
That's a place.
Next year.
Place I can tell you. That's a place you want to win a free trip to.
That's
you don't
a
want
good one.
you don't want to be opening up your own wallet. Because they'll get you there. If it's free, you're gonna feel even better. World class golf there, as good as it gets for Florida and the Southeast that time of year.
So they have that going on, but this is also, these are golf guys. Brad, Fritch, Carey, they were in the game. They were singularly focused on making a better glove, and they've spent years perfecting a glove for golfers, by golfers. You go to redroostergolf.com, purchase a glove, enter that contest at /win a trip. Easy to do, and you can be on your way to Streamson. That's running through the end of October 31st. We got to start getting on our Halloween costumes, ideas for that. But go to redroostergolf.com.
What's my personal opinion on it? There is no personal opinion. I'm the president of the PGA of America.
That one's going to be a popular one.
Yeah, it's like Scotty in a prison uniform. We know a Ray costumes coming this year. Thanks to Red Rooster for supporting us. These are small golf companies you'd want to support with your business. All right, so we are where we are with this weird. Where would you grade Keegan's performance today as a press conference? That's whatever. It's peripheral. And his final decisions. What grade on the Zatch scale, which it means everything's an A probably. But where would you grade him? Where would you leave him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, bringing it up, I was disappointed. I found myself missing Zatch from the content's sake. Do you remember how bad this thing was 2 years ago?
I remember right where I was and who I was with and where I was watching it. It was so bad.
I feel like we just got on the pod and just yelled.
We weren't going to podcast that day, and we oh my God, we need to talk about what was just stumbled through. I think his was at Frisco too.
So, I think, listen, he made the smartest decision he could make politically. This is going to result in the least amount of fallout if I'm going to captain. I think where you could question the whole process is why was Keegan Bradley the captain?
Well, that's
when he could be one of your 12 best players. And that's the fundamental question about the whole situation. And that doesn't go to Keegan.
No.
That goes to the PGA and their decision to make Keegan the captain. But I get they wanted to shake things up. They didn't want to go to the same stable of people. But I guess this is a lot we got the Walker Cup next week. The Walker Cup is just filled with parties and obligations for players, right? The captaincy of this Ryder Cup is just filled with obligations,
social
and tasks picking uniforms out.
Fair.
It's not it's just a lot of busy work and a lot of little things. But they were looking for somebody that was going to shake up God, this just came to me. You know who would have been a great person to shake up things?
The boys club things?
Sam Saunders.
Oh my God.
The only guy that resisted the Jordan Spieth,
the letter writing,
Ricky Fowler sponsor exemption, kind of just the rubber stamping. The only one that didn't rubber stamp the sponsor exemptions this year, Sam Saunders.
I mean, Glover would have been great now that I think about it. We didn't know he'd be so full of content. Won a U.S. Open at Bethpage. Breaking up when you talk about, union busting or whatever, boys club busting, Lucas Glover's oh, we ain't doing that. He would come in hot. But yeah,
I could have seen a Sal Hutton or Hal Sutton. God, just got the Hal Sutton type captaincy.
10 Cackett, Hal Sutton. Yeah, that's good. I think it was an A. Look, this was getting dramatic and precarious. In the end, everything he's done here is, I feel empathy for Keegan. It's all the right picks. It's the right, as of August 27th and what had been done in recent weeks, it's probably, and with the knowledge that Keegan is also the captain, it's the right 12 players, I suppose. I don't know if it's the best 12. And I think there is this narrative of, do you think it matters? The rah-rah stuff? Like, this guy, took himself out of it, this selfless move. He didn't pick himself, and now I need to perform for him. It's a narrative win.
I'll say that I think that in terms of the back of the roster, all those guys, Griffin, Young, Cantlay, and then Burns, all probably have a lot of respect for Keegan because they know that those were the spots that were like in the crosshairs.
Yeah.
Who's the player you're most worried about on the roster?
I think it's Colin. There are expectations that he should perform. I don't think there are expectations that Ben Griffin should perform. He may, but I think there's increased scrutiny on Colin given his recent play, and just sort of his quote unquote brand power and staying power at the top of the 10 of the world really for a long time. That said, when you start looking, it was like some hot matches with DJ, right? When you start looking at his resume in the Ryder Cup, I think he's the most concerned. At least has the most scrutiny on him.
Is it strange that after Scottie, who I'm most confident in is Harris English?
No, it's not strange, but I don't disagree with you. Maybe it is strange, I should say, but I don't disagree with you. Yeah.
PJ, how would you rank out the people that you're most confident in on the American Ryder Cup team?
I feel really good about Scottie, Harris, Henley, and JJ Splunk. I feel
Bryson
great.
too.
I feel Bryson's probably 5th, but a tier below those 4. I feel really good about that top 4.
I think
Russell
Bryson
Henley
with course fit is like pretty incredible.
I worry about the repeated iron play questions that we saw pop up the entire year. That I don't know. Have we fixed that? I don't think he has new clubs yet. The new clubs that we've been talking about for 18 months. Like that is a hold up for me. But Russell Henley, the length, I guess, is the question. But I feel good that he will be competent more than the baseline. I feel like the floor is higher on Russell Henley than a lot of the wild card picks, at least.
PJ, any notes from you on the dog and pony show? Any amusements from the quotes that tickled you?
I liked JT taking maybe a shot at Zach when he was talking about it was nice that we had a captain who was just brutally honest with people and not telling everybody what they wanted to hear repeatedly the whole time, and not doing a lot of fan service. I kind of like that. Maybe chumming the waters for Zach.
Anything else from the Cam spoiling Burns
that was great.
Make you amused.
That was great. That was fantastic. And this is again, you put a live microphone in front of the guy, and anything could happen. You say it wasn't.
Get out of here.
You say it wasn't entertaining. I think people were entertained by that. I think I also
we know one reporter, Marty's just afraid to even put the mic in front of him anymore.
He's a threat. He could go anywhere. I also liked immediately upon JT getting announced that the presenter, whoever was on stage with Keegan
Mason of PGA America,
he said that JT had the most appearances out of anybody on the team. Immediately nuking the Spieth discourse. That was great. That was fantastic.
Only you would immediately jump to that and take that as a spoiler. That Spieth.
That's what I did. I tweeted it immediately.
As
great.
Andy suggested, like that is nuts. Like Scottie is clearly the best player in the world, top dog American. Cantlay was referred to many times over as like this leader. When he speaks, everyone listens. But as for experience in the Ryder Cup,
it's kind of crazy.
Justin Thomas is now your most, accomplished, your most experienced. That speaks to some of the turnover recently, right? That was nuts to hear that. I was shocked.
PJ, he'll chug a beer on the first tee. Attempt to chug a beer.
I was wondering about that.
You think BG's gonna do a creatine shake? He's gonna get a shaker out on
poured all
the
over
first tee.
himself
Yeah.
with Bryson. Anything you would do?
Well, no, BG's going to the gummies now. That's his new partnership.
doing it?
Can't
Oh,
overdose.
God.
Can't overdose on the gummy.
I was talking to some people. I mean, a lot of people. You cannot overdose on creatine. People are calling this a thirst bucket, thirsty move here.
Jim guy got in the comments on that one, and they yes, I know. Something happened, whatever it was. He was off, but I don't think it was quote unquote overdose. But anything you would have improved, PJ, about the show? I question it being Wednesday at 11 a.m. What are the ideas?
Cutting the length in half.
I would not have made the 6 of them sit there for like an hour and a half if nobody was going to ask them a question. If every question was just going to be to Keegan. You guys can go. You guys are dismissed. Thanks for coming, Sam. Just sitting in your office with your President's Cup flag behind you. Thanks for putting a decoration up. But nobody has a question for you, so you can go home. You can log off.
I mean, should we do this like Monday night at like Radio City Music Hall?
Oh my God!
Like what are we doing?
Have them fly in. I understand that everybody just went home after a month of straight of playoffs and everything. But if you can have
drop a curtain and a guy runs out. It's WWE style.
Hold on. How much more would we have to pay these guys if you asked for
that's
that?
exactly it.
That's right.
The price might go up to $1 million, or
the price would absolutely go up.
And
then just more Don, because I felt like zero Don wasn't enough.
Of course, he got the man spread in the front.
Can I follow up just a little bit?
We got him in this show, plenty. All right,
this is an underrated, aspect of what these players, the adversity they're going to have to go through. They're going to have to deal with Don all week.
I just don't think they're going to abide him. I don't think he's going to be allowed to come near the door handle of the team room or any other thing. But yeah, I guess he'll be in some functions, some banquets.
We need the Don session. We need Trump and Ray in the same room.
Oh God,
chopping it up. We need Don by Don.
Oh, that's absolutely happening.
Oh, I know, and I can't wait for it. I did want to ask though, Andy, any Ball Frog locker room concerns?
Because Keegan and Rory are kind of trading spats
publicly sparring a little bit here.
Keegan's toss back of how would he even know was pretty good, and we're just trying to control what we're trying to control. But I kind of love Rory sitting there chirping. I like that he's taken on this role of just kind of chirping at him. I think this has been like a split the last few years. It's just the home team wins. Yeah. And what's fascinating to me is that it feels like the American team is so much more fragile than the European team.
I think today worked out a little bit stemming that, but I agree with you. It is
more
fragile.
I don't understand why they're so fragile, because it's effectively been just like blow out one side, blow out the other. And it's like, if I was the American team, I'd be like, well, you guys haven't done shit in America for a while. Like, there's stuff they could throw back at them, but it feels like the European team, it kind of tap dances around in the American team's head.
It's a little bit of that.
Also, what is the worst? We haven't talked about this, but the worst we've ever seen Scottie Scheffler in the last couple of years was 2 years ago when he got absolutely just boat raced.
I think a lot's happened since then.
A ton has happened, but that's the only time we've seen him look like a human in the last 2 years was in this competition. But I would just say that I love that the Euros are just kind of just tossing little grenades over to the U.S. team, and the U.S. team seems to be on their back, as McGinley say, on their back foot.
They definitely are on their back foot.
Oh, come on.
They definitely are.
There's been a lot of drama around the Keegan pick, but you think they're on their back foot?
I think Europe, not that I don't think they ever don't think they're going to win, but I think they really sense some vulnerability, and I think they really think they are going to win.
let's transition to that then. They're going to pick on Monday. By the way, I would just add you can't have locker room drama in the Ball Frogs locker room when you won 0 points and never won a thing. There's only
That was
the
a
season
cheap
more.
shot. That was
only
unnecessary.
only,
They won the off season.
They didn't win a single thing.
They won
DFL.
the on course season.
Oh,
Listen,
sure.
They won the
sure.
real golf season.
You can throw barbs. All I know is I know that the Ball Frogs valuation as a franchise is just going up. Everybody wants to be a part of the Ball Frogs.
There you go. That's just all show, no actual substance. Fine. Be a fan of that.
I'll be a Frogs fan
you're
until
probably-
there's a Chicago
You're
franchise.
probably a big Shador fan then too. You're a big Shador Sanders fan.
I
Don't
think it's
go.
bullshit that he's the third string quarterback.
Yeah, there you go. It's a conspiracy.
I think that's very suspect.
Kevin
Yeah.
Stefanski's calling
Yeah.
the bad plays, but
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel gets the good plays.
So this
Dylan Gabriel can't see over the line of scrimmage.
Dylan Gabriel might be him. It might be happening. He might actually be
What are you?
the guy.
You got Flacco.
I understand for now. We'll see. Speaking of Europe, tap dancing in their heads. They're going to announce on Monday. I'm sure a shorter press conference with less fanfare, less drama.
I mean, they should just announce the team now because there is not like anything that's going to happen. Harry Hall's not bursting through that door, and Marco Penji isn't getting picked. Like, there's not a lot of drama here.
Højgaard,
They should just put the thing up on the screen. But I
Mateo
guess there's a
Manacero.
reason to sell ads.
Alex Noren can't do anything for you this week.
I mean, he himself said he's not on the team.
Your picks for that will be now we have Rory Fleetwood, McIntyre, Rose, Hatton, and Rasmus Højgaard auto qualified. The picks will be Ludwig, Hovland, Rahm, Straka, Fitzy, and Shane Lowry. Is there anything that will change? No. We can transition the schedule for the week. And on that, we have the DP World Tour, the Omega European Masters that has Crans-sur-Sierre and Crans-Montana, Switzerland. A great coffee golf watch. If you just want to be, I mean, it's a great time to be in America in the fall, but this is primo. 7:30 to 12:30 in the morning, 6:30 to 11:30 on Saturday and Sunday, all on Golf Channel. So there's nothing. You're telling me nothing can happen. Nico wins. Alex Noren goes back-to-back, and they go on Monday. It's still the 6, we think. Sepp looking shaky, very shaky, but nothing. Those 6 are the guys. Is that fair?
Yes, I would say if Noren went back-to-back, he's then like probably 20 in the world.
Played really well in the Ryder Cup in Paris, I believe, was where he played. I think that's his only one. You'd have to bump out Fitz, Straka, or Lowry, I guess is what I'm not suggesting you should.
I think Sepp would be the one that would go.
Yeah.
You know, there probably doesn't sit well that there's a guy with a southern drawl on the.
Oh, come on. Not fair. That's a cheap shot. Come on. So that's your European Tour event. There's nothing going on this week. Go ahead.
What if Larothball wins? You think he gets in the?
Is Mateo in the field? Only if Mateo's in the field do they maybe give him a sort of
Manacero's got to be just so happy to be going back,
getting off the PGA Tour.
He's in the field.
There we go. We're keeping this alive. There's still hope. There's a chance.
Well, you got Wentworth. He almost won Wentworth last year.
Well, maybe they're jamming them because they're making picks before Wentworth. That's why they're jamming them. It's a conspiracy. On the
Best case scenario would be, MLV, Mike Lorenzo Ferro just gets inferno hot.
Stop it. On the LPGA schedule for the week, we have the FM Championship at TPC Boston because you know what we miss in Labor Day weekend? TPC Boston. We always had that on the PGA Tour.
Honestly, I do miss that. I loved TPC Boston Labor Day Monday.
It's 4.1 million purse, which is one of the biggest ones on the LPGA. Notables are Lauren Coughlin, Ayaka Fudaway, Mega Gane playing. Hannah Green, your recent AM winner. Hannah Green, Megan Kane, Jin Yun Ko, Nelly Korda, Harun Rue, and Gino Titicul. So pretty much everyone's there. DP World Tour notables at Switzerland. Wendy Clark. How about that? Just a man of the world. Wendy Clark. Look out. It's going to damage some things at altitude. Fitzpatrick, Nico Højgaard, Rasmus Højgaard, Patrick Rogers going abroad, EVR, Matt Wallace, and Danny Willett are your notables for the coffee golf. And that's it for schedule for the week. LPGA and DP World Tour are it.
If you're like Wyndham Clark, what a great trip.
Yeah, but okay. Do you think that's like how what butters his bread? It feels like he's more of a going to Lake Havasu than going to Switzerland.
I think he's into mountains though.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like I think he's into the outdoors.
Okay.
Like
Fair.
I would, God, it's like surprising more guys don't go like and do that. I know it's just been like an exhausting playoff stretch.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you don't have kids, it's like, well, I'll just go play in Switzerland.
Sick. Yeah. Be sweet. News for this Wednesday episode.
One other interesting thing is, Adam Scott lives in Switzerland.
He does.
I love that he doesn't ever play this event.
I've always wondered about that. Like, why wouldn't he just walk down the street and play this one? Or is he in his other homes at this time of year?
I think maybe he just doesn't want to shit where he eats.
Yeah, that could be it. News this week, the Masters and Open Championship changed some exemption categories.
Love this.
Just a kind of emphasizing the National Open circuit. So they're giving the current Scottish Open, Spanish Open, Japan Open, Hong Kong Open, Australian Open, and South African Open winners spots into both the Open, which will be at Birkdale, I believe, and the Masters next year. They also changed only individual winners of the PGA Tour events that award a full point allocation, 500 points, applied to the season-ending Tour Championship. Now, I had to think about this. They've always done this, I thought. They don't give opposite field events. Nope. What that does is eliminates the fall winners. So we saw Campos get in for his win at Butterfields in the fall. Those don't go towards...
Sad for Butterfields.
Those don't go towards the season-ending Tour Championship. The fall is different. It's my understanding the folks on the other side of the moat are a little salty, a little hurt, little pissy about the Masters removing this carrot from fall events, which, makes sense. Maybe they got to figure out ways to contextualize some of these fall events, but they're axing them out. You like this National Opens?
I love it.
Yeah.
I think this is awesome.
Good stuff. Great stuff.
It like adds cachet to like events that should have cachet. I think the Rolex events probably should get spots over fall events.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
And I think it also will entice players to play some of these like historic tournaments, which is important. Now, if we could, free the Western Open from the BMW, that'd be a great one. Maybe the Open and the Masters has, can carve out something that frees the Western Open back. But the only thing I'm sad about is we don't have a shoot back article about it with quotes yet.
From the fall, the Mule March in the fall. Yeah. Being upset about it.
Yeah.
Like maybe it'll come.
That's what I'm disappointed that we don't have rank and file mules going at the RNA and the Masters for this decision yet.
So winners from this past fall: Patton Kizzire, Kevin Yu, Nico Echevarria, Matt McCarty, Austin Eckroat, Rafa Campos, Maverick McNeely at the RSM. So, I mean, it is sort of a mule march at times there in the fall.
I think we're about a step away from taking away Mav McNeely's sole PGA Tour win.
From the RSM Classic. Fair.
And then the problem, though, is that would bump Cam down to Mr. 999 and make Mr. Fleetwood number 1000.
Oh, I love this. Oh, you want to tinker with history, tinker with the record books, and erase Mr. 1000 titling. I love that.
Think about how big it would be for Tommy's YouTube channel.
That's fair.
If he was Mr. 1000.
Nice little PJ's trigger.
I'm not even justifying this with a response. I will say Sunday singles, throw Cam and Tommy out there. Just put the brass ring in the middle, see who grabs it.
That'd be good. Also in news, Rory-Scottie All-Star Skills Challenge coming in December. Seems like it'll be after the Grant Thornton, which is, I think, ends the 14th. They each will have 4-man teams, of which they will be playing captains, I believe. That they will also be on the team. So three other guys, or no?
Rory does know what it feels like to be a playing captain.
There we go. So there's not a lot of details.
Keegan actually doesn't. Rory does.
Not a lot of details. I think it's on Versant or within. It's a Versant property, which means it'll be on one of those networks. And mid-December, 4-man teams don't have the skills yet. I think I'm highly intrigued by a sheriff of the Fair Police overseeing the skills challenge. What does that mean?
Deputy Sam will be called in.
Deputy Sam. Don't know. There could be, women involved. Yeah, we'll see. Mixed event.
It's going to be, Tommy, Rory, Shane, add a fourth in there. Scotty, Slam, and Sammy. Who else could round out Scotty's group?
Just make it all like Dallas guys, right? Could just do that.
Salatoris.
Yeah, if he's available.
If he's available.
He's available. So that's hey, interesting. We've kind of always asked for some of these like all-star skills challenges. I don't know that it'll break the bank with ratings, but I think it's good to try. It's good to try this stuff. It could be
nice, to see golf being showcased in different formats than 72-hole stroke play.
And maybe it's a compact sort of made-for-TV thing. Some of those matches, as we know, could drag, right? Those started to last. There would be the showdowns and these things, or the battle at whatever would become 5-hour slogs. And then last but not least, Tour Championship ratings, just absolute monsters. I didn't think that event was very good aside from the Fleetwood storyline. I thought the prior to FedEx Cup playoff events were more dramatic on Sunday, but the Fleetwood storyline was a big one. I don't know if that's probably not the only reason it got the ratings, but the biggest non-major ratings of the year.
I would just say, maybe another nail in the coffin of starting strokes and how preposterously stupid of an idea that was. As someone who is, I think we could go very on the record with my comments from the second. It was one of the dumbest incarnations. I don't think, here's the thing. If you have starting strokes, I bet LeBron James was in tweeting about it.
Maybe.
He might be like, what the hell is this competition?
Yeah, but to be fair, wasn't according to the starting strokes leaderboard, when Scotty wins by 1 over Fleetwood? So you might have similar drama.
The preposterousness of starting strokes.
Yeah.
Is it immediately turned fans off.
You're out.
Honestly,
why am I watching?
Immediately turned fans what? This is so contrived and stupid.
It was 4.49, so almost 4.5 million, up 34% over the starting strokes of last year.
That's what I'm saying.
Scotty
the
winning.
Tour Championship numbers, basically, since they invoked starting strokes, have been a disaster.
Most viewed non-major of the season, which is bonkers to me when you think about, I guess, Players Sunday, Rory at Pebble, Phoenix Open's always a big one, other playoffs events, signature events, Keegan versus Tommy at Travelers, but it's a big boy. August, I wonder if PGA wishes it was in August. There's some room to roam in there. It's interesting.
I'm surprised it beat out Craig Ranch, Scotty at Craig Ranch.
All right. I think that does it for our Wednesday episode. Live reacting to Ryder Cup picks. Thank you guys for your continued support. We're going to have 1 million Ryder Cup discussions in the next month. You want to jump in there, Andy?
No.
Something to add? Oh, we should note.
Go to the pro shop.
Labor Day sale is coming this weekend, starting now.
Today.
I guess weekend, what do words mean? Days don't mean anything. Labor Day weekend started on Wednesday, August 27th through 9/2, 50% off with code Labor Day 15. Golf bags and coffee are excluded, but you get 15% off with Labor Day 15 in the pro shop. We did get a note from somebody, a very friend of the program, prominent individual in golf, saying he had just played a very fancy golf course, Milwaukee, I believe, CC, saying he bought a big print for his host. And he said, this is like the most awesome gift idea to someone who had just hosted you at a place. And we should talk about that on the podcast, which is what I'm doing right now. So Labor Day 15, good idea. You can do that on prints. Coffee and golf bags are excluded, but everything else, Labor Day 15 in the pro shop at Fried Egg.
We might have an additional carrot for the best day of the year sale on September 1.
Best day of the year, Monday, September 1. We made it.
best. It might be. We haven't. We've talked about this, but we haven't done any planning yet for this. So maybe that's why you have to tune into Friday's show.
There we go. All right, that does it. Thank you for your support. We'll talk to you on Friday.